My tree surgeon examined the old oak and asked, why are there birth certificates sealed inside the trunk? The oak tree in my backyard had been dying for months. Branches cracking off during storms, leaves turning brown in July, the whole thing leaning at an angle that made my insurance agent nervous. When I finally called someone to take it down, I didn't think much of it. Just another expensive homeowner problem. The tree surgeon's name was Miguel. He showed up at 7 a.m. with a crew and enough equipment to film an action movie. He walked around the oak a few times, tapping the bark, looking up at the canopy. How old do you think this tree is? He asked. I shrugged. House was built in 1952. Maybe older than that? He nodded. At least 100 years. Maybe more. They started cutting from the top down, working in sections. I watched from the kitchen window while making coffee, half paying attention, half scrolling through my phone. Then Miguel knocked on my back door. His face looked strange. Not scared exactly, but confused in a way that made my stomach tighten. You need to see something, he said. I followed him to where they'd cut through the main trunk, about 6 feet up from the base. The crew was standing in a circle, staring down at the exposed wood. Miguel pointed at the rings. Except they weren't just rings. There was something embedded in the wood, something that looked like paper. Is that plastic? I asked. Laminated paper, Miguel said. There's more than one. He grabbed a chisel and carefully worked around the edge of one piece. It took him 10 minutes to extract it without tearing. When he finally pulled it free and wiped off the sap, I saw what it was. A birth certificate. Not a copy. An original, dated 1987. Baby girl. Mother's name, Patricia Holloway. Father, unknown. I stared at it. What the hell? Miguel handed it to me. There are at least 4 more in there that I can see. Maybe more deeper in the trunk. Why would someone put birth certificates inside a tree? That's what I'm asking you, Miguel said. This is your property. I bought this house 3 years ago. I have no idea who Patricia Holloway is. We spent the next 2 hours carefully extracting every document we could find. By the time we finished, we had 7 birth certificates. All girls. All born between 1983 and 1991. All with the same mother's name, Patricia Holloway. All listing the father as unknown. 7 daughters in 8 years. I stood there holding these certificates, trying to figure out what this meant. One of Miguel's crew members pulled out his phone. I'm looking up Patricia Holloway. He scrolled for a minute, then his face changed. Oh shit. He turned his phone around. It was a news article from 1992. Local woman dies in house fire. 7 children missing. My blood went cold. The article said Patricia Holloway died in a house fire. Police suspected arson. Her 7 daughters, all under the age of 10, were never found. The case went cold after 6 months. The house had been demolished. The property had been sold, subdivided, and developed. I looked around my backyard. This used to be that property. Why would she put their birth certificates in a tree? I asked, nobody in particular. Miguel's crew member kept scrolling. There's more. It says here that Patricia's ex-boyfriend was questioned but never charged. He claimed he didn't know where the kids were, said Patricia had sent them to live with relatives out of state. But the relatives were never found, I said, reading over his shoulder. Correct. I looked at the oak tree, at the place where we'd extracted the documents. Then I looked at the base of the trunk where the roots